Peace and blessings. I'm Minister Mustafa Abdullah of the Third Church of Jerusalem, House of Prayer, and also the chairman of the God, Truth, and Love political party. What I want to speak on today is the issue of supporting our troops. And exactly what does it mean to support our troops? Now, there are several ways you can support someone. You can support them by encouraging them or pushing them on in a struggle they may be enduring. You can support them with things they need, be financially or material objects. Support them by talking to them, listening to them. So, in supporting our troops, how can we best support them? If we just say, go ahead, go fight, and we're behind you, we're cheering for you, and we hope you win, and whatnot. True, that is support. But another way to support someone is to look out for their well-being. If someone is being wronged or doing wrong themselves, hurting themselves, and may not be fully aware of what they're doing to themselves, then sometimes it takes intervention to protect them against themselves. That is support. So understanding that this war that our troops are currently involved in, and by all accounts, now I don't know the truth of what's going on while we are really there. I mean, absolute truth. You know, we were told one thing, then we were told another thing, and then another thing. And if you look into it, you read, go online and you read all the charges, or you know, the claims against why we're there, why we went in the first place, the conspiracies and whatnot, it appears that we're over there for a lie. In essence, a lie got us into the war. Lying about the weapons of mass destruction, and then lie about them being associated with the terrorists that hijacked the planes on 9/11. And like I said, for all accounts, it appears, you know, everything's been a total lie. Well, now it's for the sake of spreading democracy. Or is it? Or maybe, actually, I guess the story is, and that's the thing, maybe the story is now, because if we don't, then it creates a safe haven for the terrorists if we were to leave and abandon the place. But, you know, for me, well, the terrorists exist somewhere, so they currently have a safe haven somewhere. They live somewhere. They're organized somewhere. But I guess really the thing is, the United States doesn't want them to organize and have a base where all the oil is, because then that could bring them financial power. So then I guess it really is about oil. So in essence, really, it does come down to oil, does it not? Of course, the excuse of there was thing of getting Saddam Hussein from out of there, an evil dictator. But you know, I'm not sure what supposedly is the number of the people that supposedly killed. And actually, I think it was only maybe 100-some people that I believe he's convicted on charges of killing, because they were scheming to assassinate him. But if that's true, I mean, if we look at the numbers, the hundreds compared to the tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of people have died. Iraqi citizens, their policemen, their forces they're getting put together, you know. So it doesn't think it evens out. And then looking at the fact that now it is getting to a point of a civil war where the country is just totally falling apart. You know, while Saddam was in there, he might have been a quote evil dictator, but there was a structure. There was something there. But now it's going to be haphazard. It's just throwing it up in the air and hoping something sticks. Trying to force these people to be something that we are. Trying to force them to be something that we believe they should be. So, by the troops, if they are there for all the wrong reasons, because they've been lied to, then how do we support them? Should we not stand up for them when they are being wronged? Should we not fight for them? Demand that they come back? How do you support them? If your child, your family man, your brother, your sister, cousins, whatever, your friends are over there, and you know they're over there for the wrong reason, they're being wronged by those people in charge of them, then how do you fully support them? You demand that they come back. You pull them out of there. You demand they come back. I want to read to you a letter from a young man who's currently serving, a Marine, and he has had a couple of tours over there. And he wrote a letter. This is dated 12/08 of this year. His name is Philip Martin, and the title of the paper is "A Young Marine Speaks Out." And I'm reading, and quote, "I'm sick and tired of this patriotic, nationalistic, and fascist crap. I stood through a memorial service today for a young Marine that was killed in Iraq back in April. During this memorial, a number of people spoke about the guy and about his sacrifice for the country. How do you justify sacrificing your life for a war which is not only illegal, but is being prosecuted to the extent where the only thing keeping us there is one man's power and his ego? A recent Marine Corps intelligence report that was leaked said that the war in the Al-Anbar province is unwinnable. It said that there was nothing we could do to win the hearts and minds of the military operations in that area. So I wonder, why are we still there? Democracy is not forced upon the people at gunpoint. It's a result of forward-thinking individuals who take the initiative and risk to give their fellow countrymen a better way of life. When I joined, I took an oath. In that oath, I swore to protect the Constitution of the United States. I didn't swear to build democracies and countries on the other side of the world under the guise of national security. I didn't join the military to be part of an Orwellian, quote, 1984, war machine that is in an obligatory war against whoever the state deems the enemy to be, so that the populace can be controlled and riled up in a pro-nationalistic frenzy to support any new and oppressive law that would be the key to destroying the enemy. Example given, the Patriot Act, so aptly named, and totally against all that the Constitution stands for. President Bush used the reactionary nature of our society to bring our country together and to infuse into the national psyche a need to give up the little-used rights and hope to make our nation a little safer. The same scare tactics he used to win elections. He drones on and on about how America and the world would be a less safe place if we weren't killing Iraqis, and that we have to fight the terrorists at home if we weren't abroad. In our modern day emotive society, this strategy, or strategery, in quotes, works or had worked up until last month's elections. My point in this, to show that America was never nationalistic. If anything, they were statinistic. Statin. Giving their allegiance to the state of their residence. This is shown in the fact that the founders created states with fully capable and independent governments, and not provinces that were just a division of the federal government. These men believed that America was a place where imperialistic values would be non-existent, where the people trying to make their lives better by working hard, thinking, inventing, and using the free market would tie up so much of normal life that imperialistic colonization and the fighting of wars thousands of miles away for interests that are not our own would be avoided. They believed this expansion of power could be left to the European nations, the England, France, and Spain of their time. However, this recent and current influx of nationalistic feeling has created an environment where giving up your rights, going to a foreign country to fight a people who did not ask for us to be there, nor did their leader do anything to warrant us being there, and dying would be considered honorable and heroic. I don't believe it anymore. I don't believe it's right for any American to go along with it anymore. Yes, I know that we in the military are bound by the UCMJ, which is Uniform Code of Military Justice, and somehow don't fall under the Constitution, the very thing we're supposed to be defending. But sooner or later, there's a decision that every American soldier, Marine, Airman, and Seaman makes to allow themselves to be sent to war that is against every fiber this country was founded on. I know that when April rolls around, I will be thinking long and hard on that decision. Even though we in the military are just doing as we're told, we still have the moral and ethical obligation to choose to do as we're told, or to say, no, that isn't right. I believe that if more troopers like me in the professional military, the officers and commanders, start standing up and saying that we won't let themselves or their troops go to this illegal war, people will start standing up and realizing what the heck is going on over there. Excuse me. The sad fact of the matter is that we are not fighting terrorists in Iraq. We're fighting Iraqi people who feel like a conquered and occupied people. Personally, I have a hard time believing that if I was an Iraqi, that I wouldn't be doing everything in my power to kill and maim as many Americans as possible. I know that the vast majority of Americans will not be happy with the Canadian government or any other foreign government liberating us from the clutches of George W. Bush, even though a large number of us will like that, and forcing us to accept their system of government. Would not millions of Americans rise up and fight back? Would you not rise up to protect and defend your house and your neighborhood if someone invaded your country? But we send thousands of troops to a foreign country to do just that. How is it moral to fight at people who are just trying to defend their homes and families? I think next time I go to Iraq, perhaps I should wear a bright red coat and carry a brown vest instead of my digitalized utilities in M16. Notice I never once used the word homeland in any of this. I have a secondary point I want to bring up now. Never once was the term homeland ever used to describe the country of America until Mr. Bush began the Department of Homeland Security after the 9/11 attacks. Taking a 20th century history class will teach us that the most notable countries in the last century that referred to their country in this way were Nazi Germany and Soviet Russia. Hitler used the term fatherland to drum up support, nationalistic support for his growing war machine. He used the nationalism he created in the minds of Germans to justify the sacrifices of their livelihood, to build a war machine to get back their power from the oppressive restrictions the English and French have put on them at Versailles. Excuse me if I got that incorrect. This is the same feeling that has been virulently infecting the American psyche in the last 100 years. This is the same feeling that consoles a mother after her son is killed in an attempt to prosecute an aggressor's war 10,000 miles away. It's also known as patriotism these days, but I say no more. No more nationalistic inanity. Excuse me, no more nationalistic inanity. No more passing it off as patriotism. Patriotism is learning and educating oneself to understand that their country really stands for what their country really stands for. I heard a lot during the memorial service about how the dead Marine did so much good for others, and how his helping others was like a little microcosm of America helping because we had the power to do so. Well, if we had the power to help people, Why aren't we helping in Darfur, where hundreds of thousands of people have died in the last 10 years? Saddam was convicted and sentenced to death for killing 143 Shiites who conspired to assassinate him. Quote, I know all of you patriotic Americans will be calling for the heads of anyone who conspired to assassinate Supreme Leader Bush. And yet we spend upwards of $1 trillion and nearly 3,000 lives to help these Iraqis when they don't even want us there. Not to mention, we don't have the legal justification to be there. I guess we should wait around for the omnipotent W. Bush to decide who we should be, who we should use our superpowerdom to help next. It's about time to throw him and the rest of the fascists out. And moreover, it's about time to start educating Americans about their past and history and letting them know that imperialistic leaders are not what the founders of this country wanted. Supporting our troops. What does it mean? And to all our troops up there who are fighting within themselves with the moral issues of this war. Our troops over there who are having religious dilemmas with this war over there. Stand up for your morals. Stand up for your religious beliefs. Put them above those things which are wrong. At all costs, stand up for them. Refuse to do that which is wrong. God bless. Peace and love.